This video is sponsored by the Design Mechanism, the makers of Mythras. Mythras is a registered trademark of the Design Mechanism Inc., used with permission, all rights reserved. And so it begins as I make the smooth transition across. Without I always worry at this point that you're all hiding or something, and it goes across, and there's only me sort of like sat here and no one else. Welcome everyone. Welcome to as Captain Kangaroo leaves, I'm roll 20.
What's the deal on this computer? Give me some. I forgot. I was too busy talking to you guys. All right.
Just get back in. So hello.
I'll get back in.
Welcome back, everyone. It looks like Longshanks has fallen to sleep. I'm
just really confused. My phone.
We're at a great
just
start.
As we started.
Your phone what?
Instagram, my phone pinged because I've got a new Instagram follower, and I'm just trying to work out why Lovers Retreats has followed me on Instagram.
Well,
it's a holiday place in the UK, advertising especially for like couples, and I'm like,
yeah, well,
why are they following me? I'm single. I don't.
Yeah,
have
but
anyone
what
to go there with?
But what was your tweet? What was your Instagram?
I haven't posted. I haven't posted in like 6 months.
They know you're students, so you know every student's.
I have no money.
Buddy Box says Longshanks was showing us his beautiful hair.
Doesn't mention it.
Just a little bit. So yes, hello everyone, welcome back. Yeah, it's the last day of British summer time today, and it's done nothing but rain here from beginning to end of the day. It's been incredibly wet, but I've been streaming all day, so I haven't, been out apart from my walk this morning or run this morning. That's been it. So I'm nice and warm and dry, etc., etc. So yeah, last day of British summertime, but a new phase of the adventure, and the party successfully managed to deal with the sea devils last week at the end of the chapter. Hengist was hailed a little bit famous because he rescued a fair damsel in distress, and Bartleby brought the slums back to be absolutely fantastic and save the world yet again.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Hengist did very well last adventure.
He did.
He carried a maiden and he didn't drop her.
Once. He didn't drop her once. But
at least this time there was no running downstairs.
I know, but I was tempted.
I know you were. I saw you thinking.
I was sort of thinking, oh please. So yeah, so we're going to start off in a second, or more than a second, when the party are going to spend their experience rolls, and then we'll pick up the next part of the adventure when the party will be in the Hairy Hobgoblin once more, trying to figure out. They've got two storylines that seem to be still untied, and they will be able to discuss which one they're going for and when. However, before that, as usual, I will allow the party an opportunity to introduce who they are and who they are playing tonight. And as always, we go to Mr. Pickles first. Over to you, Pickles.
I am Mr. Pickles, and I play Bartleby Fumus, who is our team's theist. He serves Amriel, the Light Moon Goddess. Through her, he's able to work miracles, help and save people. He cures disease. He can bring up shields of protection. He can make people throw away their fatigue. He can even improve bladed weapons with the guiding light of Amriel's grace. The one thing he can't really do through Amriel is much damage in any way. Bartleby is our helpless character. Without the rest of the heroes, he'd just be floundering about, I think, trying to protect people. Skill-wise, though, he is our healer. He knows a lot about the history of the land, a lot about monsters. He's rather streetwise. He spends a lot of times helping people in the slums, hence his passion of helping people in the slums. And with that, I will pass on the mic to Medivac.
Thank you, Somebody Looking Down. Hi, everybody. I'm Medivac, and I play Hazra Khan. He's a nomad from the northern steppes of Odes. He is a tracker, a scout, a forager, a bit of a cook as well. He can catch and cook things. He's when he hunts his game, he likes to supply the local innkeeper in Lindowe. He favours a short spear and a scimitar. He's very agile, completely at home in the countryside, in the forests, but in the cities is like a duck out of water. So yes, he's not. He's nervous and uncomfortable, but he tries to do his best when he's in a city. He's part of the Brotherhood, which is a secretive group that keeps track of and maintains a balance of the biomes and how people affect these things and how creatures affect the balance, the delicate balance of nature, which we all know keeps us all alive. So with that, I shall pass on to Longshanks, CPG.
Thanks, Medivac. Hi guys, I'm Longshanks CPG, and tonight, as always, I'm playing the famous, heroic warrior Hengist. Almost nobody knows who he is, as evidenced by the frequent failed famed warrior rolls. But he's slowly working on his fame. As I said, he's a warrior. He wears heavy armor. He fights with a hand and a half sword, or long sword, whatever you want to call it. He can use it one-handed or two-handed. He does carry his shield occasionally. Well, no, he always carries his shield, but he hasn't used it in a long time. It's just like been decorating his back recently. And yeah, he's part of the Noble House Galot, which is the more sort of charitable and people-focused, and also focused on the smiths and inventions and that sort of thing of the noble houses, of the three that are in Lindowe. The other two, one does trading, and one Hengist still doesn't know what it does and can't even remember the name of the third one. That's how much of an impact it's had on him. But he's whenever he gets the moment, bearing in mind he can't read, he's slowly trying to learn about the noble houses in Lindowe, and he has, to that extent, hired a tutor to teach him. But it's all done orally, because he doesn't know how to write or read, which is not really bothering him too much. He doesn't mind not being able to read or write, because his skill set is in using a sword to kill people, because that's what he does very well. And I will pass it on to Captain Kangaroo, who's pulling funny faces.
Hey everybody, I'm Captain Kangaroo. I am playing Cyrus Alias tonight. Cyrus is the war sorcerer of the group, definitely more of the offense guy, while Bartleby is probably the defensive support guy. He's not just a little magic nerd. He can handle himself physically as well in most cases. Carries around a massive glaive because he definitely doesn't overcompensate for anything. And he, personality-wise, kind of a little fiery, kind of representative of what he does to his enemies. Honestly, from there, we're still trying to figure him out, but I think we're getting pretty much getting there. From here, I'm going to pass on the mic to Wills, our GM.
Thank you very much. I was just looking at the close-up when you talked about your characters. I tried to zoom in on the characters so they take up the whole screen. And I never realised, I always thought those lines of Cyrus's face were strands of hair but they're not. They're almost like veins that are sticking out, aren't they? They look very scary.
The
Very,
lava and fire
yeah.
flowing through.
Whoever created
that's what
it's a lovely fade of bright, almost like white yellow, right the way back to deep red at the back. It's whoever
Whoever
painted.
created that, I very much appreciate it. I just hope they don't sue.
Oh.
I mean myself.
Okay,
Right?
let's move on. I'll just remove that from the first
Yeah.
screen.
Take that one from you, Tiff.
Yes. Okay, so the party are back. Well, they've been in Lindowe for quite a while after they came back from the bridge, the Lonesome Bridge, when they had run in with a certain cult of eternal power. And they had a quick run in with the merchants yet again. And then they decided to go off and rid Lindowe of the sea devils, who appeared to be some kind of aquatic, larger than life, or larger than normal life, water goblins that seemed to have come in with a local ship and were doing some hideous summoning and ritual slaying. Luckily, the party found out where they were, managed to deal with them very efficiently, I must say. Bartleby had some spells chucked at him, which he managed to dismiss really quickly. Glaives were wielded, spears were not chucked but used effectively, and yeah, the party managed to rescue 2 captive Lindowe citizens and a woman who was very nearly sacrificed to the water gods. They managed to escape via a potion of good fortune that Mr. Bartleby has been holding on to for some time, which luckily gave a vision to one of his junior acolytes, who brought a boat round, and to everybody's great relief, they managed to escape the island and get out of the cave, Dead Man's Cove, and get back to Lindowe. So first things that we're going to do is go through experience points, and most of the characters, well, Hazra and Bartleby will have 5 experience rolls. Because Cyrus is new to the session and he sort of like started off as a beginning character, we're doubling up his experience rolls at the moment to try to get him to catch up skill wise with the other characters. And then Hengist gets 3 because of his rather unassuming personality, because his charisma is so low. He gets -1 every time we get any. So the party actually, the characters roll a d100, and then they decide which skill they wish to increase. And the idea is that they roll a d100, add on their intelligence, and if they score the same as their skill or higher, then their skill goes up by 1d4 plus 1%. If they score below it, then they actually only goes up by 1%. The other thing that the party do have the option to, well, they don't have an option, they normally do it. If they've had a fumble in any skill throughout the adventure, the last adventure, then they automatically get +1 to their skills. So players, if you do have a fumble, then just add it on now and then remove the tick from the skill. And yeah, and so Mr. Bartleby, we'll come to you. How are you using your 5 skill points? Or the other thing I was going to say is that if a player wishes to learn a new folk magic spell, the cantrips, that is, I think that's 3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
But if Bartleby wishes to learn a miracle, or Cyrus wishes to learn a sorcery spell, then that is actually 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then, so Mr. Bartleby, what would you like to do?
Well, I had no fumbles, so I'm just going to feel sad about that. My intelligence is a 14 for Bartleby, though, and I want to use my first point on healing, which is a 56. So here's my roll.
Cool.
56.
Nice. Good starting. 1d4 plus 1. Oh!
I am blessed.
Yeah. Hazra's
Oh,
looking
God.
really dismayed because he knows he's going to be last and all the good rolls are being taken up now.
The second one I want to improve is lore monsters, because Bartleby wants to add the sea devils to his lexicon.
Yeah.
It was sorry, I didn't say it was out of 55, so it only goes up by 1.
Well, that's 56 now.
Yeah, not bad. I meant to say that. And then my third point will be going on to folk magic, which is an 86.
Nice.
So here we go, not getting that. Okay.
Oh, yes. 1d4 plus 1.
4 plus 1
3.
brings me up to an 89.
89. Da, da, da.
It's beautiful. My fourth point is going to exhort, which is an 87.
Oh.
And now it's an 88.
Do you know,
And this last one,
for the
go
first,
for it.
for the first time ever, I can hear your keyboard.
My mic's a little bit close to it.
Oh, I've never
My
heard
apologies.
it before. I haven't heard it before. No, it was adding tension to it as you quickly type. Yeah, sorry, what's the last one?
My final one's going to my devotion to Amriel, and I don't even care if I succeed at this one. It's a 90. So if I get up to 91, bam.
Oh, it's going up higher. It's going up higher.
Oh, big money, big money. This is going to be a 2.
No!
Amriel wants her favour back.
Yeah. So what's that at now? What's devotion at now?
I'm at a 95, which means my intensity and magnitude are both 10s.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, so it's now 10 now. For people who are watching, please also remember that on a roll of 96 to 100, the skill automatically fails no matter what. Once you get a fumble is a 99 or 100. If you get a skill higher than 100, which I think Hazra has for his weapon, then it's only 100 that you fumble at. But if Bartleby's spell devotion goes higher than 100, then anything bigger than 100 is used as a negative modifier for anybody who's resisting his spells. So the more powerful he gets, the harder it is to resist. And the same with fighting as well. So somebody who's very adept at fighting can actually have such a big negative roll. So if somebody had 130 and I put a little street urchin with a skill of 30, then the person could literally not hit them because their skill would always be 0, unless they rolled a 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, in which case it's always a hit. And brilliant, that's fantastic. So magnitude and intensity of 10 is ouch. That is going to be quite, so you're now at an enormous still. You need to
I'm
get
still at an enormous, but I get an extra minute to the duration of spells or miracles like that.
Yeah, so that's good. Sounds brilliant. Is that it? Are you all done?
Yep, that's all 5 of my points.
Fantastic. So yes, Hengist, we're coming to you next. You've got 3 points, so use them
3
wisely.
points. That's fine. I know where Hengist is spending them. He is going to put 2 into his Way of the Sword, which is his two-handed fighting style.
Okay.
And then he's putting 1 in Feigned Warrior, because although he's become a little bit famous from saving that girl, he's going to tell his pet bard the same story, and she's probably going to be nattering to her friends who natter to her friends who natter to her friends.
Yeah.
That's my thinking as a player, what's going to happen. So I'll start off with my first 2 rolls on my Way of the Sword.
What is your Way of the Sword?
So currently it is at 76.
76 trombones. Okay,
So
go for it.
I have to roll a 1. Oh, got to make sure I change that from when I cleared the chat earlier. Should have come prepared. Didn't. 1d100, and Hengist doesn't have. He's got average intelligence. It's not the best intelligence. Why have I
You're actually rolling 100 d100s. I don't think it can work like that. Is this well 1d100?
That's the rest of his life.
On
That's
the
the
plus
rest of his
side-
life experience.
On the plus side, you roll 1d4 now if you want.
Yeah, because you must have succeeded somewhere.
No, I thought I changed it from a clip.
But
so he
sadly,
failed.
yes.
So he gets 1 point, which isn't too bad. So he's going to do another one of exactly the same.
So that's
So
70.
he's now on 77.
Nice, yeah. Oh, that goes up. That goes up.
So then it's a 1d4
+1.
plus 1. Big money. No.
No.
Can I use the luck point to reroll that?
No. Oh, that reminds me. I need to do that.
That's another 3 points in, including
Nice,
the last roll.
yeah.
I'm talking to myself. So he's now on a total of 79.
79. I think there needs to become a time, that Hengist doesn't carry his shield around with him anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I
but
just sort of think
he's got his family's crest on it.
Yeah,
It's
well,
hard for him to get rid of it.
maybe is it not on your chest plate as well?
Well, back and front,
yeah.
branding.
I just sort of think. I was trying to remember the last time he actually used his
he hasn't
shield.
used it for a while.
And
Might
then
leave it at home.
I didn't know whether or not you were planning on sort of like skateboarding down.
You're gonna
It's for that
fall.
one moment. It's that one moment, like in the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, where Legolas goes down.
Oh,
and sets
yes.
there. That's what he's saving it for.
He does that on an orc shield, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
But
And then
that's
it
In Wales, it's just literally going, leave your shield at home, leave your shield at home. You don't need it, don't need it. Oh my God.
Drat! My plan has been. You do realise that you can't passive block when it's on your back. You know
No,
that.
I know. You really
It's just
quick
like-
If you saw someone attacking them or coming up to them with a crossbow or a longbow,
yeah, so
he's putting his shield on his arm. No,
I was
Passive.
gonna say, would he passively block his back anyway?
well, no, sadly not. Sadly not.
Sadly not.
So
And then the last skill roll is going in his famed warrior skill, which is currently at a amazingly famous 26.
So that's interesting because remember, 26 people out of 100 actually recognise you.
It's now 27.
It's now 27 people out of 100 actually recognises you.
He's
So
getting there.
yeah,
Yes,
That
that's
doesn't
so
include
great.
Basil or this lot.
it's unknown people. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, then we move across to the epic number of dice rolls persons. Cyrus, we're coming to you for your 10 rolls. Off you go.
All right. So the first 3 rolls I'm gonna do is endurance.
Oh, what is your endurance?
Oh, it's interesting for you to ask. It is actually 26.
Ouch! Ow!
He's definitely more of a drinker. He's not really known for his marathon running. So
yeah, definitely. 26.
Definitely.
So how many rolls are going on this? 3, did you say?
3.
Okay,
yeah.
then. So 1d100 plus your intelligence, 26 or higher.
My intelligence is 12. So
Nice. Only slightly more intelligent than Hengist.
yeah. Oh wait, my bad.
Slash row. Or slash art.
Slash R.
Yeah. There was so much tension there, and then
I know. Oh, such a build-up for such a.
oh,
Oh.
it's now what? 27 now? Is that right?
27.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so that's one. Yeah.
Ooh.
How many are you putting in it? 3.
3 altogether. So,
Okay, so
I'm
that's the
doing this again.
first one.
This better not be where my good rolls are actually coming in. There we
Oh,
go.
that's a nice one. So 1d4 plus 1.
Three.
Nice.
All right, so 30.
30,
And I'm
that's
gonna do
good.
one more.
One more. 30 or above.
All right. Yes.
Oh, you want to roll? You actually wanted... You should have saved these for the big skills.
I know, right?
I just want to put that out there now. But nice.
So
34.
it's not bad. All right. Next one is going to be one in acrobatics, so that way he
Nice.
looks all nimble and everything. He's apparently very, very parkour-like, but can't do it for long, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know that.
sure
I
what
think
that
that is sensible. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so what
maybe
is?
he has asthma. That's what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, let me. My acrobatics was 42. So
That's absolutely fine then. So 1d4 plus 1. Nice.
6.
So people are watching. Acrobatics can be substituted for evade if needed. So having a high acrobatics, you can have a high acrobatics but a low evade, and still get out the way by flipping or tumbling, etc. So that's 4 down. 6 more to go.
All right, so next one is going to be into my combat style, which is called Battle Dancer.
Battle
right now
Dancer.
It's at a 62, so I'm going to put 2 into that.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get anywhere with that.
62 or higher. Oh, come on. Surely you can.
What?
Ooh, it's now 63. Do you know what would be really bad now is that if you roll a 62 next. That really would be bad. Oh, nice. So 1d4. Take it up nicely.
There we go.
Yeah. What's that? 66?
Be 67.
67.
It went up by
Oh, yeah.
1 last time. All right, and the next one's gonna be I'm gonna put 1 in folk magic. My folk magic currently is at 54.
54. Okay, so 54 or higher. Nice.
Well, I'm not too bad with the rules. I like it.
They're going in, everything's going in the right direction. There's some lovely high rolls here. Nice.
There we go. So what was it? 54 before, so
59.
59. Nice. All right. I'm also going to put 1 into shaping. My current shaping is at 63.
Nice.
So try again. There we go.
Yeah.
We go. My hacking has worked out.
So that's 67, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Which actually
Right,
gives you 7 shaping points now.
Nice. And then my invocation.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the last 2 in the invocation.
Yeah. Okay.
My
What?
invocation currently is at 61.
61. Okay. Oh, it's now at 62.
Oh, great. Come on, baby. Come on.
Come on. Oh, it's now at 63. Now, you need, just to build up the tension, you need to get 63 or higher, and then you need to score 2 or above, because therefore it would go to 65 and everything would increase.
Yeah. Damn it. All right. That's it for the bunch. But
Is that? Yep. Brilliant.
it,
So
yeah.
what's your invocation at now?
invocation's at 63.
63. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay then, and Hazra, we move on to you.
Certainly, mine's nice and straightforward. I'm going to put 2 into combat.
Yeah.
Because he feels that he wasn't as good as what he thought he'd be last time he was fighting. But 2 into stealth, because again, for the same reason, he didn't have the feeling. He tripped while
Oh, he did, yeah.
tower.
I highlighted that.
Yes. And 1 into brawn, because he finally pulled a spear out of his.
Fantastic. So what's going first?
We will do the combat skills first, which currently are riding at 105.
105.
So, yeah, my intelligence is 11, so hopefully.
Okay. Ooh, yes, you can still do it.
Sorry, my intelligence is 12, sorry, not 11. Gosh.
I was going to say, you're not as
Oh, that goes 104.
104.
Sorry, 104. No, 106 even. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say 105 plus 1.
Yes, 104. Oh, look at that. That's the rolls. So 107 for combat. That's rubbish. My stealth is currently at 78.
Be really spooky if you get 53 now.
I know.
Can I just say?
Oh! Yay! Look at that.
That's what you wanted for the first run.
It was, yeah. So 1d4 plus. Oh, gone the wrong way. Let's go down. 1. There we go. 2.
Oh.
So that's now 80, isn't it?
Oh. You're
so
having
one more
some
of them.
harsh rolls today, Hazra.
I know. But it all comes out the role playing.
Yeah. Next time I'll let you go first and then pass the.
That's right. So that's going up to 81 now.
Nice.
So and then 1 brawn, which is going to be. Oh, that's good. 93. My brawn is 52.
That's nice. So 1d4 plus 1. Let's hope you don't get 2.
Oh,
nice.
Lovely. So then that goes up to 56.
Fantastic.
And that is me and spent.
All done and dusted. So everybody is flexing their muscles and demonstrating their high amount of skill.
Do you know, I was thinking about Cyrus's endurance and why it's so low. It's because, he'll have to roll an endurance every 3rd combat turn. Is that about right?
He will probably do his every 2, probably.
Every 2?
Yeah.
Well, because his fights won't last any longer than 1 combat turn, will they? So,
Very much true. It's very much true. I'm just I'm too efficient to actually push myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what it is.
so I thought you meant that. I thought you meaning that he dies after the first round. He doesn't actually get to the second round.
No, the 3rd round, I'm taking my smoke break.
Yeah, and then that's it. Mr. Pickles is styling a nice grey colour today in Roll20, I notice. I don't know. Was it grey?
Right. No, I changed it from yellow after last session to grey moonlight.
Oh, I thought that it was yellow because of the moonlight. That's what I thought.
More like the sun to me.
Oh, right, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Confused.
Or bluey light. Oh, no, because Medivac has the blue, so you... And Captain Kangaroo, yeah, it's probably stay with that. As long as I have the purple, I'm not fussed. So the party have now rolled their rolls. They've probably, if they're interested in maintaining their lifestyle, then they will adjust their money and finance as they see fit. And it gets to that wonderful point that they have just finished a rather very good job, might I say. A very good job. But sadly, nobody was actually paying them to do the job. So they're very gallant. They actually did the job for nothing, which I think is very, very kind to them. However, there is some good fortune coming your way. The people of the slums are very grateful and give you, all of you, some loaves of bread that are pretty tough, but as Bartleby's aware, they've probably sacrificed a week's load of bread just to sort of like give it to you guys. And the people of the boat, if you remember the boat that Bartleby, you tried to mend the hole, if you remember, they are quite they're happy that you actually rid them. Maybe they feel somewhat maybe some of the blame, since they might have brought the sea devils in, and they actually award you from their current ship stores from this trip. They actually award each of you 100 silver pieces, so that's 500 silver pieces altogether, including Ben. So you've each got 100 silver pieces from that, and they also leave you with a favor that, if in the future, if you need safe passage away from Lindowe to somewhere else, or something that's on their travel line, then you should look them up. And they say to Cyrus, anytime you wish to lose the hundreds of pieces, then you're more than welcome to come back and have a gamble with them over the dice game. Okay, so apart from that, things have returned to normal overnight. Lindowe is back to its normal busy self. People are coming and going, and you find yourselves once again in the hairy hobgoblin. Can you see anything on that screen?
No.
No.
No. Look.
No ma.
Okay, so the light of Amriel fills it in. Can you see it?
What a twist!
Amriel reveals all.
Yeah, and I wish she wouldn't. That's all I can say for that. Yeah, so dynamic lighting was on it for some unknown reason, but I think when it updated all the pages, so that's why it is. And yeah, so it's probably early evening. It's about 7 o'clock. You've congregated once more in the hairy hobgoblin to take stock and to decide what to do next. So just to remind you all, beforehand you had sort of like 3 plot lines that were going on. The Sea Devil one has now been ticked off, and that's it. So you have 2 storylines, or 2 possible things to follow up in the next few days. The first one is Hazra and Cyrus. You remember the mercenaries that you tailed through the streets of Lindowe, and eventually, Hazra, you spied them bribing the guard and leaving from the north gate of Lindowe, heading out.
Against Airwood, were they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you saw them leave under cover of darkness as well, which was, you know, even more suspicious. They were armed, and they definitely looked like they were going out for some kind of expedition or raid or something. You're not completely sure. And they would have left now about 2 days ago. And the other plot line or storyline that you're currently contending with is that at the start of this series of adventures, you were hired or asked by the guild merchants to look out for Neville and his second in command, Zach, who were coming from Airwood to Lindowe to sign a trade agreement. Lindowe was keen to expand its trade and wanted to start building ships, and Airwood, which is to the south, actually is a village or a small town that is surrounded by woodland, and they quite reasonably well, so you've heard, harvest the trees around their town, and that was the initial contract that was going to be signed. Of course, Neville died on the docks to the Sea Devils, and Cyrus upset the merchants. Bartleby went out and bought them a gift that wasn't anything to do with fertility this time, and brought it back to try to sweet talk the merchants, and that's where that plot line sort of like stopped. So yeah, you got mercenaries and merchants. Well, by all means, talk among yourselves at the table what you wish to do next.
Where do you guys think the mercenaries went at this point? You think they've come back to town? You think they've already killed the thing they're probably going to kill, and then we wasted that? What do you think is happening at this point?
I don't think they were going to kill something, because they were taking weapons and knives and spears. There seemed to be a large amount of them, from what I could see.
Were they gonna build a bridge, like
No,
with their spears?
I'm not a man of this kind of warfare, but if it was a member of my tribe bringing this amount, I would say that they were supplying making more soldiers by supplying weapons to them, perhaps, or selling the weapons to people. I don't know. It's strange, but my concern is the time they left. Why leave just as the gates are closing? Is that to stop somebody from following them? And they bribed the guard. I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. They bribed the guard. I'm very surprised. The guards can be easily bribed. But it was a fat purse.
Yeah, that's true. Something maybe one of you guys can do. Not me. Now, Bartleby, have you slipped your way into finding out where our buddy is at?
Have I? What?
Have you found Zach? From what I remember,
right,
you were slipping your way around.
Sorry, I'm used to
the entire
way
town to find our buddy.
People talk, but no, I'm afraid the damage you did there is likely to make it so we won't be involved with making sure that Zach is treated fairly in this process.
Or because of me, he actually is, and he actually might get a good deal, and the rest of us will actually be able to get some good lumber in the town. But have you figured out where he's at least?
I'm afraid not. Since the merchants don't believe that we're going to be helping Zach,
or helping them convince Zach.
I get the feeling you don't trust that I would have Zach's.
Look, I believe that you believe Zach is in the correct situation. I believe that you believe that the merchants have only the best intentions for the rest of town and have no interest in benefiting just themselves. But the thing is, that doesn't exist. Merchants exist to make money, not just give out money to people who benefit and not them. That makes sense?
Of course it makes sense. That's
okay,
what
then why
merchants
are you believing
are.
that?
I assumed that they would be taking advantage of Zach, much like yourself, and if I can benefit him at their own game against them, thought maybe that'd be a good thing.
Oh, you're playing the long game, Bartleby. Should have known you're playing the long game.
Hasred, can you roll for me your survival skill?
Sorry.
Oh!
A chicken that. I don't see that as a fail. I see that as a
Arrow through the eyes. Failed to spot the crossbow.
Wow.
This would be a terrible.
Really
place
should have
to
smelled the
sleep.
poison before you ingested it.
Yeah.
Now roll endurance roll.
I'm going to rename it as my lemming skill.
Well, there goes that plot line. Let's move on to another one. Yeah.
Soup tastes nice tonight.
You can all roll for me a perception roll as well. The actual heavy hobgoblin has started to warm up on the night. There's plenty of people singing and talking and all. Sorry.
We just do not give a shit about our surroundings.
We're really into this merchant debate.
Oh, good.
It's not the beer.
I
It's got to be the
just
debate.
made mine. I just made mine. This is hard.
Oh, right. Good
All right.
grief. I've never seen so many.
These are
blame
rolls
him,
that Cyrus should have been using. when
Thi-
he'd done his
this-
I
skill
know.
for-
What?
Yeah.
This either bodes very well for the rest of the adventure because they can't get any worse than this, or it's going to be an awful adventure.
Or nothing's gonna happen. I'm
Yeah.
gonna continue drinking for 2 hours.
Maybe I should reduce my standard difficulty challenge just to easy for the rest. Oh, you've all. Oh, no, actually, Hengist still hasn't made it.
Can I just say, this does
And
make
neither
like
has-
1 in 25.
The thing is, even if I made it easy, then only Bartleby and Hazra actually make it. But Hazra does make it on a.
What about Ben?
Barely.
82. Yeah, do Ben's as well. Hazra, do you have Discord open?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Let me just-
I just want to send you something.
Sorry, I forgot to change it over, but that is Benjamin.
All right, so he's just sort of like following everybody else's footsteps with this one. Right. Sorry.
You typing that looking.
There you go.
I can spell QWERTY when I do that.
Do you want to know what I was fussing about? Was the punctuation. And I'm just sort of like thinking, why am I bothering about punctuation?
Because I'm a heathen, aren't I?
And I just thought that there's a subordinate clause in there that I have to punctuate correctly.
Would Hazra know what a
Yeah, probably. I don't think Hazard can read.
No, I can't. I can read the trees. That's about it. Right. Wonderful.
Do you wish to share anything?
Yeah. Just out of it,
You can type something back to me if you wish.
I will do.
Yeah. Right, shall we take our 10-minute break? I just imagine Hazard going, what?
While he's doing that, I'll do something. I'm behind us. I'm going to approach my little buddy behind me and see if he was able to find anything in regards to that poison bottle I gave him a few sessions ago.
Oh, Annalin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hang on, let me just see if he's with anybody. Not that Cyrus would actually care either way.
Yeah, I really wouldn't.
No, he seems to be free at the moment. I was going to say vacant, but that might just be the look on his face.
As Cyrus is walking over, Hengist is just going to shake his head and go, at least you won't try. Well, good luck not buying any love potions.
Yeah.
Cyrus doesn't need love potions. He's able to get all the bottle wenches he wants, even the ones he really doesn't want.
Oh, that reminds me, the barmaid is giving you a cheeky wink, Cyrus.
Which this one knows I'm Cyrus, not Jim, right?
Yeah, and
okay.
It's. Oh yes, okay then. Yeah, go for it, Cyrus.
All right. So, did you find my ingredients?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to let you roll the percentile dice against his alchemy skill. His alchemy skill is actually 76. So if you get below 70... Oh!
Wait.
You're going to luck it?
I'm gonna use my luck point.
Okay then, 1 luck point. Off you go. Surely it can't be higher. Surely. Oh, yes. So this was the poison that you got from where?
This is the poison I got from back in the Lonesome Bridge incident. There was a whole bunch of poisoned wine that was done by the cult.
Yeah.
That eventually attacked us. My intention with the poison wine is if we find the ingredients and if any of them are kind of a unique ingredients, maybe there's a specific spot this stuff was purchased at in town. And if we figure out the spot, we might figure out a little bit more about our cult that we're trying to figure more information about.
So
and then kind of work our way in like some sort of weird, shabby investigation.
Cool. So he, Annalin sort of like sees you coming across and immediately sort of like greets you with a very friendly smile and says, oh, good evening, Cyrus. Would you be looking for a love potion or maybe an ointment?
You know exactly why I'm here. Did you find anything?
About
The poison bottle I gave you. I wanted you to find if you knew where the ingredients came from.
and he looks
I gave you money.
oh, money, yes. Yes, money doesn't go a long way in this town, as you probably are quite aware. Yes.
No, I'm not aware of that at all.
Well, yes.
This is a town.
Yes, well, we all wish that money grew on trees, but sadly it is not.
No, hyperinflation. It would be a different.
And of course, I'm still trying to ensure that my apprentice is actually working to the best of their ability and actually, not messing up. You can probably see the bags underneath my eyes. The amount of sleep I get is quite low. Anyway, I did find out what your substance, or shall we say, liqueur was.
All right. Continue.
Oh, yes, sorry. And he sort of like leans a little bit closer to you and says, he looks around, then he cups his hand over one of his mouth like this and comes very, very close to you. And as you also lean in, he says, "It was poison." And then leans back. And he sort of like goes like that at you, as if to say, "Wow."
All right. I'm gonna. See, there's a furnace behind me. It looks like.
Say again, Tom.
Right to my right, there's a furnace. It looks like. Right.
This thing here, it's the wood stove that keeps the. It's like the central heating for.
Is it currently on?
Yeah, because we're in autumn or spring, one or the other. So there's not a great flame burning. It's kindling, so not kindling, like embers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So in that thing, I'm gonna roll ignite, and as I do that, I'm going to stand up. Hopefully, as I stand up and roll ignite, my shade, because I'm granting magic or doing my shade kind of changes. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to intimidate him.
And where's the ignite going? Tell me.
Ignite is a
I know it's a folk magic.
Folk magic. Yeah.
But what are you planning on?
I'm just igniting the embers to essentially, as I stand up and start yelling at him, to like kind of do some kind of dramatic atmosphere behind me, kind of get to the point.
Yeah, absolutely fine. So do you have to start off with, do you have an appropriate skill that you are going to be using, such as intimidation?
No, is intimidation a professional skill?
No.
I think it's just standard skill, isn't it? Intimidation.
I think well, it comes down to influence in intimidation.
Sorry, yes, yeah, that's right.
An intimidation skill would be absolutely fantastic. I wonder why they don't have one. It normally means that it's picked up in a different skill. But I just think
I could do influence if that's...
Yeah, and the only reason influence is like double your charisma, and I almost think intimidation should have some kind of size or strength assigned to it.
I remember in Call of Cthulhu it was strength based.
Yeah. So like we might need to enhance it. I'll check. But we'll start off with what is your strength or size?
Size is small.
Okay, then. So maybe go for your strength.
I'm size is 8. My strength's 10.
Okay, then. So what?
So I'm not intimidating as a physical specimen. That's what I'm trying to do, the fire thing, so that way it kind of will boost it up a bit.
Yeah, so you can roll your influence, but I will allow you to add your strength skill in the sense of oh no, I tell you what we'll do. Ignite is folk magic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you can do, you can actually augment your influence roll with your folk magic. Okay. But the first thing you do need to do is roll your folk magic to see whether or not the spell goes off. So that's the first thing to do. And then if it does go off, then you can augment your influence with that. So yeah, go for it.
So I'm going for folk magic.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So yeah, he's just gone to, obviously Cyrus is in his stride now. So
Cyrus is angry.
Because that's a critical, you can augment your influence, but because you got a critical there, I'm going to reduce the difficulty rating to easy rather than standard. Okay, right. So augment, there's a little button down at the bottom to augment, or at the top, wherever you got it.
You have to click on your token though.
Alright, so give me a sec. Alright, click my token.
And then up on the top bar, you might not actually have them. Can you see it up at the top bar?
No. Oh, which top bar?
Top left-hand side next to the...
okay, I see it now, yeah.
Yeah. So if you just click augment, and then it asks for your skill, and then once you submit it, it will automatically augment, and then you can add it to...
Got it.
Right. So you're augmenting it by 10%. So you've got influence plus 10% on your temporary, but it's not a hard roll. It's not a standard roll, it's an easy roll. So perfect. Basically what's happening is that we're like almost like doubling your skill.
All right, let's see if any of that makes sense and works out.
Yeah. Yes, it does. So the 58, because the easy is now, so your skill level was 74. So yeah, so you sort of like turn around and make it blaze, and your hair and your face sort of like erupt with those ember-like eyes, lines. Yeah, well, so you're looking quite scary now.
So I stand up, smash my hands on the table. I will not be thwarted. I am not going to deal with this mercenary bullshit that you've been trying to do to everyone that walks into this place. I am a sorcerer of the Order of Phoenix, and I will be respected.
Yeah, and Annalin sort of like turns to you and sort of like gives you your little potion back to you and says, well, it's a potion of agony. And which basically anybody would know that the agony potion is something that is given to you, is ingested, and it lasts for a period of time that will then, so there is a lull before it actually kicks in. And as he does this, he puts his little your potion bottle down, and he sort of like gathers everything into his little satchel, and sort of like it just turns around and says, our business is completed now, and
I want ingredients.
And he starts to walk away at that point. So you can stop him. You can grab hold of him if you wish.
I'm going to do something even better. As he starts walking away, this chair right here, I'm going to shove right in front of him. But using shove as...
Yeah, okay then. So roll your folk magic skill again. Oh, because it's a critical, by the way, you don't lose any magic points on that first one.
Oh, nice. Shove.
Yeah, nice.
What?
Yeah, very
Twice?
nice. Yeah. The chair comes.
Whoa!
The chair sort of
What?
the chair comes sliding over, and I'm just going to roll his evade, which he fails, and sort of like collides with the chair rather than sort of like it literally sort of like hits him on his side, and he sort of like falls down to the ground. And at this point, as this happened, now he will never have good rolls again, ever. It's either that or he's written as some kind of script. That is so Annalin sort of like falls down on the ground, and there's a slight sound of not necessarily the clinking of glass bottles, and maybe even a smash. And at that point, the rest of you, you probably hear Annalin fall to the ground. But that's not what's actually caught your attention, the rest of you. Your attention has been got by the sudden silence in the hairy hobgoblin, in the sense that everybody has sort of like stopped their drinking. Some of them have just got their spoon halfway up to their mouth of their mutton stew. That's probably part of Hazra's bounty. Some of them just sat there, wide eyes, and they're sort of like tankards at, half raised to lips or at lips. And you suddenly notice that as you turn round, Annalin's on the floor after being hit by the chair, and the whole hairy hobgoblin has gone silent.
I think I'd still stand up at this point. Can't hold his booze. I'll approach him.
Yeah, and as you approach him, he sort of like, he does that classic thing when he's still sat down, but he tries to scoot off backwards, as if he's trying to put the distance between him and you and him, and he sort of like gets his back up against this corner of the stair. He looks pretty scared.
Good. Our business is not finished. You're going to answer me what I asked you. Otherwise, you probably finish your business forever here.
And he sort of like sat there quaking and cowering in as small as he could probably do. But it's not actually his voice that you hear replying. And the rest of you see this as well. I don't know where he's gone, actually. Why is he not on my map anymore? And you see sort of like stood here. Mm-hmm. Basil, the proprietor of the hairy hobgoblin. And he still has his apron on and what appears to be a piece of cloth. But he's not cleaning anything. He's almost like wrapping it around his hands, almost like looking worried, but feeling that he probably has to do something. And he sort of like looks at Anna, and he looks at you, Cyrus, who's probably still flecking red and power from your eyes, etc. And Basil says, "Hey, Mr. Mr. Cyrus, we don't want any trouble in here. You're scaring my patrons at the moment."
Hey! I haven't done anything.
Well,
this guy just keeps running the chairs.
Well, I beg to differ, Mr. Cyrus. You shouted, slammed. You've somehow ignited my wood burner that should be probably running out of fuel at the moment, and you've hurled a chair at Annalin here.
Look, I think we're done with the issue. Is that right, Annalin? We finished.
Yeah, he sort of like nods. And
See, no problem. We're all just having a good time. All right.
yeah, and Basil and the rest of you can see this. You've never actually seen Basil like this. He seems to be not worried. He looks very determined, and you know that there's one thing he really prizes, higher than anything, and that's not only his establishment, but also the safety of the hairy hobgoblin. And Hazra, you've had a lot of dealings with Basil, and you know that he's quite apart from the odd coinage slipped underneath the table for various food and wine, he's very, above board for the majority of the time. And you all think that's why people come to the hairy hobgoblin, because
It's a safe haven. And
yeah, everything is sort of like kept in a calm state. And Annalin sort of like shuffles back and then turns and picks up his satchel and leaves as quickly as he possibly can. And
Astrid will shout after Annalin in a whisper, going, "Annalin, no."
And you do notice that Basil is sort of like still there cleaning his hands with the cloth, but there's still quite a deal of silence in the hairy hobgoblin.
I'll turn to Basil. You know what? I apologize. The man right there, I've seen him here for a while. He's a thief. I offered him business, and he didn't do what he agreed to do.
And
so I'm sorry that I got aggressive.
and Basil reacts somewhat surprised when you mention Annalin as a thief, and sort of like say, I'm sorry, Mr. Cyrus, but he has helped a great many people in this town, and I have actually gained profit for him, letting him do his business at my table. I can't imagine that he will ever want to come back here again.
Well, if I see him again, maybe we'll work things out and he'll be comfortable here. But he can't be taking advantage of the patrons that also give you business. And honestly, I'm probably not the first one that he's essentially swindled. But to make up for it, have this. I'll buy everyone here a round of drinks. Is that all right?
Wow. Cyrus has got the cash.
People come running from outside.
Yeah.
Free booze!
Free booze! Okay then, so
Bottle of champagne on everyone.
he sort of like Basil sort of
I'm
like
just going to college, I would like to Chateau du Bois.
he sort of like, before he actually says anything and announces the free drinks for everyone, he sort of like leans somewhat closer. And Cyrus, you probably do not know the background of Basil. The rest of you do. He retired here. As you all know, he lost an ear in mortal combat. Mortal, i.e. the other person snuffed it. Yeah. And he sort of like leans a little bit closer. And Bartleby, you probably hear this because you're on this side as well. And he sort of like leans slightly forward and says, "Mr. Cyrus, I hope you don't mind, but I cannot have things like this happening again. And if it does, then consider this your only warning, because then you will be barred."
Right.
And I don't mean the person that sings songs. And then Basil turns around and says, "Everyone, Cyrus is giving you all a free drink." And there's a huge yay from the tavern, and several people start to get up and sort of like bring their tankards forward. And you also notice, everybody, you notice some people downing the contents of their tankards as quickly as they possibly can. So glug, 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 even with the beer coming out the side of their mouths, and they all sort of like quickly start queuing up at the bar as the barmaids and Basil starts to fill their tankards or whatever they've actually got out with booze. Now, I just need to... I won't do it now.
You notice Hengist got... No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Got twice.
Has been there. What's so... let's have a look. An ale or beer for an evening. This is quite a cheap place. So it's probably about a silver piece per drink. The Hairy Hobgoblin was quite full. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each table here houses 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll say about 33 drinks are going to be handed out, which is be 33 silver pieces. However, there are some people who are not actually getting ale. They're getting some of the hard stuff, which is actually cheap. This is still cheap at 2 silver pieces. So generally, it costs you 40 silver pieces out your bank account or whichever money you've got. And you notice that a lot of them, these people are sort of like walking past you, Cyrus, and saying, "Thanks, mate! Thanks, mate! Hey, to Cyrus!" And somebody says,
lift up my drink to them.
Somebody says, "Can't wait till he comes back again. I hope he's going to buy us all a drink next time." Hazra, you notice that the 2 are still there, but the other one has gone. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yes.
Yeah.
At this point, Hazra will lean forward and he will say, I didn't want to say anything earlier, but just to let you know, do you know that, Cyrus, that little bluebird who is now becoming a sorcerer supreme? A sorcerer, like and she was at the bar earlier, and I didn't want to disturb you because you're enjoying yourself having a drink, but I just kept an eye on her, and she came in with 2 people. She has gone now, but the 2 people are still stood there. Do you recognize them if I casually point them out?
I'm gonna act like I'm just kind of glancing across the entire bar and not looking directly at them, but see maybe I can see a side eye and see if I recognize them.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that you all take a look at this point. None of you actually recognize them. Their garb seems to be not that of a merchant, but not that of people from your high status, Hengist. They seem to be well dressed, but almost like they look, Bartleby, a bit like guards, but without their weapons. They look like business people, but not necessarily merchants.
Just out of interest, they don't look like the guys that are in the oh God, I forgot the name of the pub here. The pub that I went to, which was called
yes,
Baldy Dwarf.
Yeah, the bandy-leg dwarf. Yeah, no, it doesn't. They don't look like They look almost like business people would look in this day and age. They're very well dressed. They're wearing very good, sort of like moderately good clothes. They're not armed at all. and you actually notice. Roll insight rolls for me.
All of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I take weeks with mine?
Yeah.
If Hazard's taking weeks, I think Hengist will take about a year.
Okay then. Bartleby, as always, you can always trust a Bartleby. Yeah, and does Ben have one as well?
Oh yeah, my bad.
No.
No. Okay then. As you look across at them, Bartleby, you're slightly puzzled. They seem not to fit in the hairy hobgoblin. It's almost as if this place is alien to them, or their clothes are alien to them. They seem odd, as if they don't fit in. And you can see them as you look over to them, Bartleby. You can see that they're sort of like, they've got some drink, but they're not touching the drink, and they seem to keep looking over to your table, and one of them seems to be egging on the other. Is egging on a British phrase? Yeah, that's
I
right.
know that phrase. The Americans here.
Say again, sorry. You're familiar.
We Americans know that phrase.
Brilliant. Yeah, so one of them seems to be egging on the other one to do something.
I'll share that with the group by having Bartleby will say something like, after he looks back, he says, I don't think that they're here to drink, probably from up the hill or somewhere near.
Cyrus is still fuming, so he gives him I don't know, a very aggressive glance, and then continues drinking.
Cool.
So I guess you had a little problem there, Cyrus, with Annalin?
Did he try to sell you a love potion?
I hired him for a service, and he didn't do his part. And you know how I feel about merchants and their swindling, and he just proved my point.
How did he swindle you?
I asked him to tell me the ingredients of a certain potion I gave him, and all he told me is that the potion was poison, which I knew because it almost killed people. And that's the reason why I approached him with said potion. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. And I'll deal with him later.
Well, yeah, I guess that's unfortunate if all he could tell you is it's poison, since you already knew that.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's.
What's this about the how you have the best intentions with the merchants you're dealing with? What's going on with that?
Well, I think that our avenue there is probably
Moot.
No, yeah, moot. And your concern for the people traveling with weapons might be something more that we should be looking into. I do appreciate you all dropping everything to help me with the sea devils and slay all the sea devils for me.
Yeah, I thought more treasure would come out of it, but it's okay. So it's about how people think about us and how infamous we become.
It's about protecting the people of Lindowe, Cyrus. If they attack the slums, how long is it going to be before they start attacking other people and townsfolk and save?
That's just ones that pay more.
Everyone needs protection.
Yeah, sure.
Does your order not have a library, Cyrus, for the poisons of war and subterfuge in combat?
We have a library, we don't have a whole bunch of people who just spend all day sticking their nose into the books. We spend most of our craft, conquering and killing.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does Cyrus have a literacy skill?
No.
Right.
Fine. I always heard the Order of the Phoenix learnt by doing.
Yeah,
They learn off each other
exactly. Yeah,
in the middle of the battlefield. They just hope that they throw fire at each other, and then they throw fire, and it works. They don't know
It's
why.
repetition kind of thing, really. Yeah. So far, I'm just as long as I'm angry at somebody, things just happen against them. So what do you guys think? Should we go find Zach before I pissed off Basil even more, or should we go and see if maybe we can figure out where our mercenary friends decided to go to?
I mean, the problem we have here, they have a 2-day head start on us now. But I do.
Hasra gets pulled off the chair by a dog. Was that?
I do think.
Sorry, do you have laminate floors by any chance?
Wooden floors, yeah.
Yeah, all I can do is as if it's trying to corner quickly.
It's my dire hound.
Yeah.
I do think that we should check in on Zach though to make sure he's okay, because that was one of the. If he's here, it might be worth finding if he knows about these people, because they were going to Airwood too.
Yeah, and they started following us when we were with his. When we were last with him, so.
But that's right. They were in here with us before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we can go search for him.
Just to let you know, Hasra, they are now approaching your table.
Okay. I'll see them coming, and I'll stand up, and I'll give a nod to Hengist, so hopefully he'll see me stand up, and we'll kind of walk around to the other side. So I'm going to pretend to almost talk to Mr. Bartleby here, but creating a block here.
Hmm. And they both sort of like come up to you. You notice straight away that they're not actually armed in any sense of the word, and they sort of like come up to you, and you're not too sure whether or not they know who you are or don't. They seem to be almost like staring straight ahead, not making eye contact with you at all. And one of them says, "Greetings. It is nice for us to meet you here in the Hairy Hobgoblin. We have heard great things of the great deeds that you do."
Are you talking to us?
Are you talking to me? What?
We are talking about the infamous group that stands and sits in various posturing at the table. We have heard great things and the wonders that you can do for Lindowe, especially for the poor and those who are unfortunate enough to be living in the lower slums.
It's almost like they're reading from a card.
This is what happens when we don't want to ask for pay. I continue drinking my drink.
We would like, and he goes, as in us stood before thee, would like to hire you as our protectors.
Actors?
We have heard great things about your exploits.
Could before you go on any further, can I ask who? How did you know the bluebird that we were talking to earlier?
The bluebird, that was not a bluebird. That was Melanie. She is a supreme sorcerer of the
my
red
apologies.
of
That's
the Red
correct.
Order.
Yes, she used to be a bluebird. My apologies. I recognised her from when she was delivering us a letter once.
She is now climbing the Red Order ranks, and it was her that put us onto you and your group, especially the person who was causing a little bit of a rumpus just now. She knows you, Cyrus. She says to send her best wishes to you and hopes that you are well.
Tell the pigeon thanks, but I don't need any help. I continue
Yes.
drinking.
She said that you were of that ilk.
So please tell us more. What is this job you have for us, and
It is
and
quite
what would you like
simple.
to?
We have heard that you are great protectors of the weak and the less fortunate. And we have heard troubles on the road to where we are going. A small farm outside of Lindowe, only 3 to 4 hours ride. But we, as in me and him, are somewhat concerned about being attacked. We would like to pay you all, and when he says all, he makes eye contact with every single one of you, to protect us on our short journey to our farm.
How much?
Sorry, who was that? Was that Cyrus?
Yeah.
He just sort of like looks at you, and one of them sort of like takes leans back a bit, so he's actually almost like avoiding your gaze. Cyrus, as you say, we have raised for your job 1,000 silver pieces.
Great.
Why so much for such a small journey? I haven't heard much of threats outside of Lindowe beyond the normal.
We have heard that you are very good at what you do. The money only represents a comparison to your great prowess in guarding people.
Right. Why do you think it's dangerous?
Because of the attacks.
What attacks?
And he sort of like looks at his friend and looks back. Have you not heard of the attacks?
No, that's why I asked. No. What attacks?
Your colleague, Melanie, from the Red Order, is well versed in the attacks. We know little of what's been going on, but I'm sure if you would like to talk some more to Melanie, she will have the details.
Great. When do you need us? When do you need us?
We were hoping to set off early tomorrow morning at the shortly after sunrise. There will be me and my friend here, my colleague at the farm, and a wagon that we have.
Wonderful. Perhaps maybe we could meet you back here in maybe a few hours to just so we could find out some more details for ourselves, and then maybe we'll decide then. Would that be okay with you?
He says, it is late. We do need to prepare for the trip tomorrow. But as part of a good cause and goodwill gesture, we are happy to give you half of the money now. And they sort of like bring out, each one of them brings out a purse. So they've got like, there's 4 altogether, 2 each. And they sort of like go, here is your 500 silver pieces if you are prepared to take the job.
Mr. Bartleby, Hengist, what do you think?
Look,
Have you heard about any troubles?
My hands look massive now because they're closer to the camera.
Yeah, robot boxing game.
Yeah. The perspective in that is fantastic. Can I just say? Yeah.
I mean, it seems it may be a bit of a job, maybe too simple for the amount of money that they're spending.
My main concern is these attacks that we've not heard of. I know we've been busy for the last day or so, but what attacks?
I lean in to whisper to Hengist, because they're lying. But money's money.
Do you know one of those those plays that you have here in the city? It just sounds a little bit like that. I don't know.
We are honest and caring workers of the land.
Which road is your farm on? Is it the one north, Uven Falls, or
Journeying
south?
to the south, some 3 hours away from the city walls. We mainly farm livestock, but we have the odd vegetable patch. Will you accept the job?
Fine. Yeah. Well, you guys ready? I'm bored as it is anyway. Since we killed the devils, there's nothing else to do.
Fantastic. And they sort of like get towards the table and puts the money down and on the table, and they said, we will see you tomorrow at 9 bells, so that's 9 a.m. at the gate that leads to the south, which is on the north of the city, but it curves very rapidly after leading the north gate to actually go south. We will see you then, yes?
Would you two be dolls and cover our tab?
Oh, our money is on the table.
Yeah, but as a gesture of good intention.
It's fine, my friend. Don't worry about it. I mean, you've generously bought all these people a drink anyway, so don't worry.
I was hoping
Yes,
they would cover the
we will see you. I know.
They have just covered the tab. They've just paid you up front.
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah. That is fine. We will see you. And it's 4 hours journey. We will see you tomorrow then at the north
At
gate.
9 bells. Oh,
At
and
9 bells.
one of them rummages in the pocket and brings out what appears to be a piece of paper. And I'll say this and then we'll take our break. And they sort of like says, here, this is a note from Melanie to Cyrus. And it's a piece of paper folded in half. She asked us to deliver it. And he pops it on the table and says, thank you once again for your wonderful help. We will see you tomorrow, 9 bells at the northern gate. And we will pause there for a break. So it's 25 to, so we'll have a 10-minute break. So we will be back at 1:45 the hour. So please go off, have yourself a drink, get a snack or whatever you wish to do. And we will be back at 1:45 the hour. Have fun, everyone. See you soon. And we are back. Now, just remember, our clocks go back 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, go from 2 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So all my streaming will be... Bunny Box, do your clocks go back? You're from... I think Bunny Box is from Germany.
Sorry, I just need to disappear for a moment.
Okay, go on then. Poof! Jesus. Perfect time. Do you know, there was a point that I thought only British clocks went back and forward. Now, I didn't realise that everybody has to do it over the world. And then I was thinking, so if everybody's doing it, why do we do it? I don't understand why we move clocks backs and forward.
Longer working days during daylight.
Yeah.
It was
But
introduced before for farmers and things, so they can get up, enjoy daylight. And
but it'll be if it's going back an hour, it'll eventually still be dark, won't it?
Yeah, it's about morning. It's about for farmers from the morning to be able to do stuff in the morning. Oh, jeez, Kitty. Damn cat.
Where's it trying to go?
I don't know. Decided right now is the time to jump on my shoulder.
That is amazing. It's just sort of like, cats sleep anywhere, any table, any chair, top of piano, window ledge, in the middle, on the edge.
Can your cat say pieces of 8? Pieces of 8?
And I was looking at the marking on its back, and I was just thinking it looks like 2 eyes and a smiley face almost. Look, it looks like a skull now.
He's got Rorschach attached to his shoulder.
Bunny Box says.
I don't know why it thinks this is the comfortable spot, but okay.
Bunny Box said that was not Peter. I heard another name.
Said Kitty.
Same Kitty, but Cyrus just changes the names as he sees.
Depending on who he's talking to.
Yeah. Okay then. So Longshanks will be back shortly, but we will wait. We'll move on. So, cutting a long story short, you've been paid 500 silver pieces. Wow. With a promise of another 500 silver pieces once you escort the people safely to their farm. It's about 9-10 o'clock at night. Is there any... My cat is named Kitty. That's a good one. I always wanted to call my cat Oscar, but then I found out that it was a female cat, so that wasn't good at all. But then I wanted to call it something rude, like F off or something like that. So so I could stand at the door and go, F off! F off! People would think I got Tourette's or something, you know. So.
I had a cat when I was younger. I called
Mr. Pickles is gone now. What's happening? Is this a ploy? Are you all... Hazra, do not even...
you.
Do you know, once I said that, I just thought Hazra was just going to stand up and walk away.
No. I can do better. And it's just like...
Oh, Hubble Bubble.
Not enough.
Oh! Well, the tomcat is named Socks, so I'm not the best with... Oh, yeah, Socks... Cats get... Oh, everybody's come back. Yeah. Okay, then.
Sorry.
So, no, it's not a problem. So you've got... It's about 10 o'clock at night. You're due to meet these people at the North Gate at... okay, no worries. And at the North Gate at 9 o'clock. Is there anything that you wish to do? Remember, it's 10 o'clock at night, so the majority of places will be shut. If you wish to buy any supplies or anything like that, then by all means buy them. You know, the town normally stirs to life about 6-7 a.m. So there's plenty of opportunity for you to buy anything you want. I'm quite happy for you to have a look at the book or whatever, and then mark off your silver pieces. I don't like to micromanage, you know, so it's completely up to you what you've got. Obviously, if it's too weird, and I know you can't buy it because of the price, then it will be frowned upon.
I think Hazra wants to go out of the town tonight before the gate closes if he can.
Yeah.
and he wants to sleep at his own place, but come back in the morning with Brutus.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So, are you going to bring? Yes, Buddy Box. I don't know what's wrong, but he I don't know if you can see in the chat. He just actually put going to be a while, so I'm not too sure what's happening. But fingers crossed that it's nothing bad. I just noticed that Bartleby's character token is really small compared to everybody else's.
It's cold outside.
So are you bringing your wagon and Brutus back?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Okay then. So you probably find a place. Are you leaving him outside, or are you going into the town? What's going to be your plan in the morning, Hazra?
Well, what I'll do is I'll leave him by the gate with the guards. Now I will give the guards some coinage to make sure he's okay. I'm sure is there a place to tie up horses?
Yeah, there's like a corral
Yeah.
outside, and it's mainly used on busy market days that people almost like slot in for priority. And then that's it. Yeah, so you can do that. That's not a problem at all. What about Bartleby and Cyrus? Is there anything you wish to do tonight?
No,
or early
I'll do
tomorrow?
my other market shopping and whatnot later. I don't need to get anything. I was planning to sell something, or maybe get some someone to analyze it, see if there's anything, if it's worth anything.
Cool. What do you wish to?
Well, I'll do that later. I don't
Okay.
need to do that right now because I have the whole thing with the other merchant. I don't want to slow us down.
I was getting all ready with my haggling rules then. Okay then. So you and Bartleby, is there anything that you wish to do?
I probably don't have enough time to do some research in the libraries of the Church of Amriel to like look into historical events in the area we're going. We probably don't have time for that.
Well,
and this evening, do we?
You could go through the night reading up on things, but I would require an endurance roll from you. Otherwise, you will be fatigued the next day, until you manage to get a kip or not. So it's up to you. The ball is in your court.
I think those people creep Bartleby out enough that he wants to look through. He wants to light a candle and call on Amriel to give him strength and try and see if he can find out anything strange that's happened there historically, like if there were people being sacrificed there because it's another circle of danger.
Got you. Okay, so let's have your lore history roll first.
Lore history, big money.
Yeah, okay then. So there is some information about the road to Airwood. It is rumoured that in the mountain range to the north of the road, there is something called the Library of the Mystics. Obviously, you know what that is and where it is. Well, you've actually been there. It was Sylvester McCoon that actually sent you there. Apart from that, there seems to be no sign of religious practices or anything going wrong at all. It seems to be that the trade route is well established and many people have used it. There, you do find out, just out of interest, that there is or was a trade agreement between Lindowe and Airwood for lumber. It actually was terminated some 50 years ago now because of a dispute. That's all it actually says in the in your library. Whether or not there's more to it in other people's libraries, you're not sure. But it says that there was about 20 years ago, 20 to 50 years ago, there was a trade agreement. Interestingly, for wood, exactly the same, but it was cancelled or removed after a dispute. And that is logged in the history of Lindowe.
I might not have access to this, but would that be about the time Count Bastian was ruling Lindowe?
He's only been here for like 10, 15 years, so probably before he actually arrived or before he took up his post. It's really interesting because the word dispute is underlined. Just like that. Whoever just underlined it.
Oh, did you hear me?
Yeah. Did everybody else hear that? I actually heard it go.
It's a very harsh line. So.
Well, that's what I thought. It sounds extremely harsh. Okay, so just let's see whether or not you manage to catch some shut-eye before the next day. Let's have your endurance roll.
Oh, luck better be with me here. Otherwise, it's going to be funny, Bartleby.
Yeah.
Yay.
You sort of like manage to actually get some sleep at the appropriate moment and fall into that deep restful sleep, and you're still able to get up on time to go to the north gate. And so this part of the scenario, Hazra, you're coming from the outside in, and the rest of you are coming from the inside to the gate with your supplies or whatever. And you both you, Hazra, and the rest of the party see the same thing happening, but just from different directions. So as you get closer and closer, the first thing that you hear, or the first thing that makes you aware that there's some kind of commotion going on, is the noise. There seems to be a lot of shouting and signaling, and as you come from the outside of the wall towards the gate, Hazra, you see several guards, almost like in a semicircle around something. They're not facing out, they're facing in, and you can hear a lot of talking. You can see that there's some people waiting outside, trying to get in, but the semicircle of guards actually stops there, but they're not forcefully stopping them or anything like that. They just seem so close together that there's no room. And you can see the odd carriage starting to pile up in some kind of early morning traffic jam. And for the people who come from Lindowe, your semicircle is not of guards, it's of people. And you can see some of them are sort of like at the back, gazing over and trying to sort of like peep over and see what's happening. And Bartleby and Cyrus and Ben can do one as well. Just roll your perceptions rolls.
Let's see how bad my perception roll is going to be after all those awesome rolls before. Not terrible.
Not terrible. Well, this is only easy because it's quite loud. So Ben and Cyrus, you hear this, and they seem to there seems to be a number of words or phrases that come out. One of the most popular one is sort of like, "Oh my God, oh, what's happened? I can't believe it." And then you hear some more that says, "Is he alive? Is he alive?" And somebody else says, "I've never seen so much blood. Look at all the blood. Well, I don't know what's happened, but he looks like a goner to me. I tell you, he's going to die." And Ben sort of like turns to you, Bartleby, and at that point he relates to you this next bit that Cyrus, you hear as well. And they hear somebody says, we need to get a healer. We need to get somebody who could deal with this."
I shout for Bartleby to run to help the people in front of us. I'm assuming Bartleby's right next to me, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to shout. I'm all. The moment Benjamin mentions that, Bartleby looks to wherever he was. He looks away from whatever he was distracted by. And is going to just
probably flowers again.
And it was a new fertility symbol.
It's a very unique one. I hadn't seen it before.
Yeah. Bartleby has a collection on his bookshelf.
This one had a more profound helmet.
Yeah.
Bartleby's going to rush to help whoever he can. He's not very dexterous, so he's bumping into people and trying to move through. Priest of Amriel,
yeah.
As loudly
just roll your friends with the guards.
Gladly.
I can imagine as he sets off going, put that one aside for me.
Could I use a point of luck there?
Yes, of course you can. So just reversing it. Yeah. So yeah, you sort of like come around the corner and you notice that the throng of people are being kept at bay by another semicircle of guards on the inside, and so you sort of like push your way through, and as you're going through the people, you hear people say, "Oh look, Bartleby's here. Oh, he's really good at this sort of thing. He won't let us down, I'm sure." You sort of like push by and the guards see you and say, "Oh yes, Mr. Bartleby, we definitely need your help." And they sort of like signal down to the ground. And Cyrus and Hengist sort of and Ben sort of like follow in. And Hazra, you tie up, well, not literally, you tie up the Brutus.
Brutus.
Yeah, you sort of like put him in one of the corrals, and you sort of like come in, and the guards sort of like think, they see Bartleby, and they know that you're an acquaintance of him, and they let you in the semicircle, so everybody sees this at the same time. And what you actually see is, it looks like a teenage boy, about 16, 17 years old. He is face down on the ground. He seems to have fallen there or collapsed there. You notice that he's very dusty, he's very dirty, his breeches are full of dust and things like that. From this distance, Bartleby, you can't tell whether or not he's alive or dead. And so one of an old woman who was trying to tend to his wounds, maybe by rubbing, when I was little, if you got a bang on the head, my mum always used to put margarine on it.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember that.
And I have no idea
why.
Yeah, but if I got a bang on my head, she used to put butter or margarine on.
It's to reduce the swelling.
To improve the taste?
Well, yeah, exactly. If I got
huge apple there.
If I got a splinter, Mum used to mix sugar and soap together, rub it in, and then put a plaster on. And then, honestly, when you take it off, the splinter is out. And I have no scientific knowledge why this happens, but sugar and soap takes it out. There you go. So
that's because sticks love sugar.
Yeah. I always used to say, "Please, mummy, use the soap and sugar, not a needle to get it out," because if it didn't come out, there was a needle going. I used to hate that. Anyway, you look round and there's this dusty, bedraggled teenage lad, probably 17 or 18. And remember, in this day and age, that is working. You know, he's probably been in the fields or whatever, working since he was 14. But there's a woman sort of like there with some kind of herbs, and she's sort of like flicking the wound on his back with a sprig of rosemary, you think, Bartleby, and these sort of like hedge healers, you notice that she's got a vat of lard by her as well, and she's probably going to administer that and flap it on. Because this guy, this lad, face down, and something has cut through his shirt down his back, and it definitely looks like maybe a three-toed, clawed something has sort of like raked down his back. It's separated out the shirt. That's almost like in rags. But what's more worrying is that you can see from where you are, Bartleby, roll a healing roll. Are you all right, Longshanks?
Yeah, I'm back now.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it in a moment.
Yeah, the chat was asking. So, oh yes. So you notice, Bartleby, that these wounds are very deep. There is that deep red arterial blood seeping out of them. It's not a faint scratch. It literally looks like three talons have literally gone in his back and scraped down the whole length of his back, going through his shirt and everything. And you can see from his face, it's, as well as it being very dirty and dusty, you can see it's incredibly white. Incredibly white. And you also notice, Hazra, as you coming in, and as you look, there seems to be this trail of blood, bloody footprints coming in, and you can see the blood has dripped down his shirt, over his breeches, and he looks, Bartleby, in a very bad way.
To come in from the outside of the city or from one of the alleyways or whatever near the guard post?
Yeah, you sort of like ask the guards, you know, where's he come from? And one of the guards sort of like turns around to you and says, we saw him from a distance staggering to the city gate, and so two of us went and helped him and brought him in, and then we brought him in and he just collapsed. We could hold him up no longer, and you just roll your tracking, Hazrat. Yeah, and you can see now, you sort of like look back, you can see almost like these red trail marks, as if blood has pooled in his boots, and then they're being dragged across the dusty pathway.
Thank you, my man. What sort of creature was it? Did you see what attacked him?
No, he was just coming. We saw him from a distance, and he looked nearly dead, and we ran out and helped him. We don't know what's done it, but it looks pretty bad to me.
Which direction was it? From the south road, or was it from the north road?
He sort of like points out towards the south. He came from the south. And it's like a plane coming out the north gate of.
One going up and then one curling round, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see for some distance out here, but there's nothing out there at all. One of the guards says, the old woman who's flicking her stick of rosemary on this, and has sort of like put her other hand in a vat of lard, and she's just about to smear it over the boy's wounds, and she looks up and sees you there. And she says, "Oh, Mr. Bartleby, I was just about to administer some lard."
Bartleby doesn't even respond to her. He is immediately calling on Amriel's miracle to save this young man. Is using the heal wound miracle to go for the I guess the technical would be chest, but back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Loudly praying to Amriel to save this man. Exhort. I'll use another point of luck.
To
not look a fool.
Yeah.
I'm going to Photoshop that intensity and magnitude while I'm here.
Yeah, and you sort of like, you notice that as the moonlight shines from behind you, giving you this halo effect as you put your hands over the wounds, and you notice that the wounds slowly pull themselves together and the flow of blood slowly seizes up, and you look down at him and you really do think he's lost a lot of blood. Even with this wound healed, it's definitely touch and go for this lad. And the woman says, "Will you be needing the lard?"
No, I think we need to bring him to the church so that he can be looked after.
And she sort of says, "Right, you," and she sort of like goes like that and scrapes it off her hand and then tries to do the put the stopper in it, but suddenly realizes that her hand's all greasy, so she wipes it on a pinny, and then sort of like does, if you ever need any lard, come to me, Bartleby. Round these places, round these places, I'm even known as the Lard Lady, or it could be Large Lady. No, something like that. Call me Lard Lady. Plenty of lard when this came from.
That's always good to know.
Lard and rosemary, cure for everything. Cough, lard and rosemary. Sickness, lard and rosemary. Diarrhea, you guessed it, lard and rosemary.
Bartleby, a little exasperated, beckons to the guards to come over, or like a few of them to come over. Mostly because he wants to ask him, can you bring this lad to the...
Bunny Box has just put in the chat, how can I concentrate when this in the chat? Maybe he needs the lard in combination with the fertility treatment. Simple.
No, wrong channel.
It's a good thing. This is a very good thing. You have your mature rating on Twitch.
I know, that's what I was just thinking.
And you've still got a Tinder logo in the corner.
Yeah.
Everybody, make sure you do not Google that.
No, don't. We don't recommend it.
Do not recommend Googling lard and fertility treatment.
Yes.
The watchers, the people who are viewing, can actually swipe left and right your pictures, by the way. Like, dislike. Yeah, and it's sort of like the guards come over and sort of like, they bring out what appears to be a blanket, and they roll one side up and they get it underneath him and rolled on one side, rolled on the other side, and then they sort of like lift it like a makeshift stretcher, and they sort of like semi-run or jog with it, and the crowd sort of like separates, and you go down, and as you break out the rest of the crowd, and you see the wagon with the two businessmen on it, and they sort of like say, Mr. Bartleby, we are ready to leave.
Yes, I apologize. I suppose I'm ready to leave now as well.
What was that?
I'm not quite sure yet, but I think it's a sign that it is a good choice for you to hire myself and my
sign
here.
A sign?
Yes, of course. A sign. The gods leave signs everywhere. It's up to us to learn to interpret them. I think this is a sign you made a good choice.
Is there danger on the road?
There could be, just like you said.
We are lucky to have you then.
Indeed. Bartleby will pull himself up on the cart or whatever they're working with.
Yeah. Okay then. So Hazra, Cyrus, and Hengist, is there anything you wish to do?
No. Once, well, for myself, once I see them here, I will go back to Brutus, and I'll prepare him for the journey. I mean, I've stocked up a few bits and pieces, a bit of feed for him and things like that. So,
do you need the lard? Just
yes.
I hear it works wonders as a sun cream.
Yeah.
Bunny Box says, what? It can help with the birth of animals.
Yes.
It's also a moisturising cream.
He's a boy.
Okay then. So Hazra, was there something that you wanted to do?
No, I was going to just get Brutus ready to go.
And then that was it. Yeah.
Unhobble him and yeah.
Okay. And Cyrus, is there anything you would like to do?
I'd like to get in the back of the cart and stretch out my legs and get comfortable.
Back of whose cart?
Do we have a cart that we're taking?
So
yeah, I'll take the back of that cart. And stretch out and take a nap beforehand.
It's very similar to the one that you slept under the other when you were
That's
going
exactly the same, to be quite honest.
yeah, when you were going to the Lowson Bridge. So
I
you,
was just going to ride Brutus.
This time
but I
I'm
thought
gonna
no one
I'm
had
gonna
a
sleep
cart.
on top of it.
you're going
and
to
not
see,
under
okay
it.
then. So Cyrus sort of like settles down on the back of your cart, Hazra. I'm assuming that you are driving the cart.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And what?
If space, Hengist would like to sit in the cart that Mr. Bartleby's in, which I'm assuming is the cart with the weird twins.
So their
Looking with Hyenas.
is a flatbed cart, but it has goods
Oh, okay.
on the back. And does anybody who's got a commerce skill just roll commerce skill now?
I'm just gonna let that be. You're good.
Yeah, Cyrus is sort of like.
Better.
I do have one, but
It, there you go. See,
Ah, never say never.
both of you recognise that this is very much what happens between the local farms and Lindowe, in the sense that they bring in raw materials, and whether or not that be animal hides or fleeces from the sheep or even crafted goods, and they bring them in, and it works more of a bartering system for the farmers, because they have no real use to for silver. You know, they're sort of like bartering, a bit like you barter, Hazra, with Boris.
Yeah.
And so this is quite normal. And you do see sticking out of the back that there seems to be like a pitchfork, say, or some bundled up maybe types of cloth, you know, rough Hessian, things like that. And the two men on the front of the cart or wagon driving it are actually, you know, they seem to be exactly the same outfit that they're on last night. And is Brutus going first, Hazra?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay then. So Hazra's on the wagon driving. Is there anybody sat next to Hazra on the wagon? I know, Cyrus, you're in the back of the wagon.
yeah.
I think I have a question. If there's only, because I had said that Bartleby was going to be in the cart with the weird twins. Is there space for one person on that?
No, there's no there's no space on that. I mean, you could if you wish.
No, I
Squeeze
want to sit
in
next to Hazard now.
Squeeze in between the twins.
No, that sounds like the worst experience.
So Hengist will sit at the back of Hazra's cart, and he'll also have his backpack in the back of the cart and the shield in the back of the cart. So he's not wearing his shield, but it's in within easy reach along with his backpack and that sort of thing.
Yeah, got you.
And his backpack will have 7 days of rations and some water skin and that sort of thing.
Fantastic. So you almost like head out, and you notice that the guards, Mr. Bartleby, they bid you farewell and be safe, and they do say, so what do you think it was, Mr. Bartleby?
I've seen strange reptilian monsters in the land up north before. It could be
No. A reptilian monster out there preying on us. And one of the other guards said, sorry, did you say reptilian monster? And you hear a mother just inside the gate cover up her child's ears, and then sort of like says to her husband, whoever's with her, apparently there's a large reptilian monster out on the road. And somebody says, oh my God, this is dreadful. Quickly, let's get home before bad things happen to us. And there's a cart behind yours going out. One of the guards says, I wouldn't go out today. There's a large reptilian monster on the rampage out there. Huge it is, several stories high.
Breathing fire, its head in the sky.
Its name is Godzilla. And
Another one.
Godzuki. Yeah, you sort of like head. Buddy Butt says, well done, Bartleby.
Yeah, really.
And everybody sort of like stay safe. Make sure Godzilla doesn't get you. And somebody sort of like
Angus
says,
knows what I'm talking about.
somebody sort of like says,
I thought you meant. I thought you were on about the river goblins.
No, I was on about the raptors that overran the entire village in Hoover Falls, and we had to go talk to a
Or do you
dead guy.
mean the giant centipede thing?
The other goblins.
you hear somebody says, it's got a name. Only great mythical and epic beasts have a name. A large reptilian monster called Godzilla. Oh, it must be huge. Very well, saviors of Lindowe. We wish you good luck and great fortune. And remember, if in doubt, run.
What we need to do now is find a huge amount of papier-mâché
Yeah.
and sculpt a huge reptilian head.
And you notice there's some teenage girls that sort of like see Hengers as well your fame.
I don't know if I want to be famous with teenage girls. That's just
Here we go.
badly. Ah, phew.
And
69.
Interesting role there.
There's some women go waving a white handkerchief out and say, good luck. And the guard says, who are you saying good luck to? And she says, no idea. I don't know any of them at all. You know, they say, oh, farewell. You hear in the distance, as you go, and you set off along the road. And the first thing, several things happen on this first day. So I'm going to just say that we're going to stop at a camp next, but there are certain things that happen during that first day. So the first thing that happens is that the two people on the cart driving it do not make conversation with anybody at all. They're very silent, very focused on driving their wagon, and if engaged with at all, they make very short replies, and they don't actually amplify or exaggerate or say anything of any worth to you at all. And you after a while you feel a little bit peeved, but you'd all understand that they're paying you to protect them. The other thing that you notice, and Hazra, you are the first person to notice this, you notice high up in the sky, riding thermals, what appears to be some kind of bird. It looks almost like... Do you have a nature roll?
Yeah, law nature.
Yeah, just roll that. Yeah, it looks like some kind of buzzard or some kind of bird of prey, a raptor of some description. And it seems to be, at one point, it's just circling up on the warm air. And then it sort of like flies off. But in the next couple of hours, you see it again. You're not too sure whether or not it's the same bird or a different bird. But, you know, throughout the day, you see something very similar, the same type of bird, probably 4 or 5 times. And just as dusk is appearing. Yeah, go for it.
Is it the same place where it appears, or circling over the same place? Or
No,
is it different places?
Different places. You know, sometimes you're actually riding towards it and it seems to be circling up above you, then to the back, etc. But you haven't seen anything like this. It just seems strange. The other thing that seems even stranger is that you're on an open plain, so there shouldn't be any thermals. You know, hot air will rise, but they normally, birds of prey normally soar near to mountains when the warm air is forced up or things like that.
And just a quickie. I thought this was only 3 to 4 hours away from the city.
Yeah, that is what they said. And you are now coming to
End of the day.
the end of the day. And they're sort of like plodding along, and everybody is plodding with them.
As will turn his head over his shoulder and shout back to them. You said your village or your farm was 3 or 4 hours away from the city, but where is it? We've been here all day.
I am sorry. We meant 3 to 4 days away from the city.
That's a little bit of a big mistake, isn't it, really?
We can give you more money once we get there, if that is a problem.
No, we will. Yeah, that'll be fine. We will see then in that case. Yes.
No, we want more money.
We're honourable people. We will see you safely to your farm. If you wish to pay us more, that is entirely your prerogative. That's a large word I learned of Hengist.
He has taught you well.
Thank you.
And they say, we will tell you when, maybe tomorrow morning by noon, we will be at the turning for our farm. The road will fork, and we take the left road rather than the right road. Even though the left road is the right road to take.
That is a wonderful play on words. Thank you.
My pleasure. And you sort of like arrive at what appears to be a suitable campsite. And Hazra, you probably use your survival skill to find a good area, maybe with some hillocks to, shelter the fire. And you sort of like all settle down. And I'm assuming that you take watches between the 4 of you. And
Absolutely.
so can you all, for me, please, roll a perception roll for your watch?
Hengist made one.
Hengist made one.
Success.
Bartleby's...
And then panicked because I saw Bartleby's and thought it was mine and thought I'd misread it.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Because I'm so used to failing.
But Hengist, you survive. You perceive something. Bartleby, you don't see anything. Hazra, quite naturally, you should see everything. And so does Cyrus. So just to let you know, if you have used up any magic points at this point, then they will be replenished during your long rest. And so anybody who made their perception roll, and you don't talk about this until perhaps the next morning over breakfast and Hengist making tea and things like that, and anybody who made their roll, you all sort of like, one person says it, then the next person agrees with it and say, yeah, that was strange. That you remember, definitely in the dark of night, like having this feeling that you were being watched, and almost like turning away from the embers of the fire and looking out, so your eyes became accustomed to the dark. You all saw, the 3 people who made their perception roll, that there was a pair of red glowing eyes watching you. It was definitely blinking, and you saw it blink and then open its eyes again, and then blink again and go. So you sort of like busy doing something, you get this feeling that you've been watched, you turn and you see the eyes and they go blink, and you sort of like look at it again, they blink again, but then they don't open, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you all see it, and just to let you know, you all see it in different parts of the area surrounding the camp. It's not always in one place. It definitely looks like it was moving. And you sort of like discussed this over breakfast, and you notice that the 2 men almost like give very nervous looks at each other. Very nervous looks. Roll insight, anybody who wishes to roll it.
Hengist is very perceptive and insightful this
Yeah.
morning.
What was?
What is with my rolls today? Wow, I'm actually really.
Okay. What did you get?
You are doing awesome.
I don't know. I don't think it failed since my criticals.
Don't speak to.
Oh, well, that's jinxed it now,
Like,
hasn't
jinxed
it?
it. Or
Dun.
restarted. I
Just,
don't know. We'll see.
just roll your endurance or less, and to survive the next.
They touched endurance.
That's on
So,
a stone last night, did we?
yeah.
Failed your endurance.
so anybody who notices this, you made your insight roll. You do see these nervous looks going backwards and forwards between the two people, two men, and even when you press them and sort of like say, what are you worried about? They are very, very blank to you, and very sort of said, no, we are fine. We know what we need to do. And they're busy sort of like everybody's packing up the caravan, etc., and everything's been put away. And by about 9 o'clock, you're back on the road. And the road is very straight ahead, open plain, so you can see for considerable miles ahead of you, or kilometers. And then
Sorry. Have we set off or?
yeah, unless you want to do something, I don't mind.
Yeah,
rewinding.
sorry. I was lost in your voice. I would like to do a quick circle around the camp, see if we can find any tracks or signs of anything that's been around there. Yeah. And then I'll just have to go for a pee.
Are you looking?
I will look actually, because he's
Yeah. So there's two very distinct tracks that you see.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are animal tracks.
Right.
One you think is roll your law nature for me.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can actually the tracking sort of like allows you to find the tracks. Your law nature allows you to pinpoint what animal is actually there. You can tell that there's been a delay. The two creatures weren't there together, but you do find two sets of tracks. One seems to be like a wolf or canine of some instance. You think it's larger than the average wolf, maybe a dire wolf that you know of, but definitely not a small skinny wolf, probably a lot heftier. You notice that the tracks are deeper and from a normal wolf, and you know that there's wolves out there, but there's also these dire wolves as well, which are a lot bigger and deadlier. There always seems to be one of those, and the other track that you see is that of a boar, as in a warthog or something like that.
Pumba.
Yeah, and that seems to not circle that much. It seems to wander in, keep very still in one spot, and then leave. And that's it.
Oh.
Are you relaying this to the party?
I will be relaying this and show my tracking prowess. Yes, so it seems to be that the two animals seem to come last night. I don't know if they're responsible for the glowing eyes, but possibly. A boar came or came close and then just seemed to turn around and go back. So whether it was startled by our fire and left, but the more worrying one is that there seems to be a very big wolf, maybe even a dire wolf, that has been going around the camp. It didn't come in to worry us, as you could tell, but we must be more vigilant, I think, at night time. Maybe set up a larger perimeter of fire, perhaps, than some stakes. No,
Yeah, I can help with that.
Okay then. So,
yeah.
anything else that anybody wants to do?
Yeah. I actually had something I wanted to do. A little bit sneaky, stealthy, I guess. I wanted to use my folk magic prayer witch sight to analyze our employers a little bit. See if they're hiding anything from us.
Oh my god, do you not trust them, Bartleby?
Sorry, say that again.
Please.
I was just looking
So
at.
do you not trust them, Bartleby? Shocking. What?
So say that again. So what you want to do? What?
I wanted to use my witch sight to more closely analyze our employers.
Okay.
See if they're hiding anything that might reveal.
Yeah. So you see whether or not they're maybe got a glamour on them or some kind of illusion, or or magical in the sense. Yeah. Yeah. So you sort of like switch to your. I think I get an opposed roll, don't I?
Willpower is what it has listed.
Opposed test via the casting roll. So what was your casting roll?
62.
62. Right, let's roll. That's for the first one. And that's for the second one. Okay, you look at them both, and they appear to be completely and utterly inert. They're so mundane. It's not magical, but everything is telling you, Bartleby, that these two men are not what they seem to be, and you're not too sure what they are or what they're doing. You even notice that they don't seem to be at home on the wagon. They seem to be sitting very upright. He doesn't hold the reins properly. He sort of like is weird how he steers the wagon. And you notice this as well, Hazra, that something is not right with these two people at all. And you're sort of like riding along, everybody in the same position as they were. And the sun's getting a little bit higher in the sky, but it's not hot. It's sunny but not hot. And Hazra, you actually see something first. You're at the front, and with your keen eyesight, from your perception roll, there's no need to roll it. I'll just roll it just in case you fumbled, because then you can have a... No, that's fine. So you look far ahead, and you notice something that really worries you. You see there's a whole load of birds circling up ahead. It looks like it's still some distance to get there, but there's definitely birds circling over something. You know that this is yeah. You know it's, you've seen this when rotten corpses have been left, on your plane. So you're totally aware what this means.
What sort of time are we at the moment?
It's coming up to midday.
Midday, right? Okay. I'll relay this information. There's birds circling over there, which means there's carrion on the floor. There seems to be an awful lot for a small bit, though. So should we go see somebody's alive or something's alive, or I don't know. Let's go investigate. It's on the road anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Hazra. It's definitely on the road.
Yeah.
And Cyrus, you're probably in the back of Hazra's cart, so you're probably looking back towards the two men. And just roll your insight roll for me. Yeah, and you notice when Hazra says this that they exchange rather worried glances at each other. They don't stop or anything, but there's just definitely that look backwards and forwards. how far do you want to get your the 2 wagons to this area? Are you going right the way up to it, or are you going to stop at a distance and move towards it?
You're muted, Hazra.
It's a film. I don't want to put Brutus in danger, so it would be a case of stopping early on, and maybe leaving one of these gentlemen in charge of Brutus, even though I don't trust them because they're very wooden.
Okay.
Like strange, and then go ahead and investigate, because there may be, if it's an animal, it may need put out of its misery, or yeah.
Okay then. So will it just be Hazra going forward?
No, I'll go with him too. Are we in forest or are we still in the plains?
Open plains, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as we approach, I'm going to try to peer around, make sure there's nothing hidden, like in like a, I don't know, a tumbleweed or a bush or something.
Yeah. So Cyrus and Hazra, you're going forward together. What about the rest of you?
So Hengist will get out of the back of Hazra's cart, and he will sort of like walk. So he's between. He will stay with the carts, but he'll be sort of like he'll be where whatever it is, if it's a horse or a bullock or whatever it is that's pulling the 2 twins' carts.
2 horses, yeah.
2 horses. So he'll be there to one side of the road or the other. So he can keep an eye on them, and he can keep an eye on Hazra, and he can keep an eye behind us as well.
Okay then. So how far away, roughly in meters, are you going to leave the carts from the site? The only reason I'm asking is just in case somebody wants to get somewhere quickly. So how roughly
I
how
would
far
say
away?
about 40 feet away, perhaps.
Can you tell me that in meters? Because
So meters. That would be about 20 meters ish. Well, 17 meters.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay then. So people can probably
No, it should be 15. No, I'm joking. No, that's metagaming. I'll stop. No, it's whatever it is you said.
People will probably see everything, what's going on. And as you get closer, and Cyrus and Hazra, you leave the coach and go forward.
Oh, sorry. Yes, we go forward.
Can you see anything on that map now?
Not yet, no.
Yeah.
Oh, now we do.
Can see it now.
Okay then. So as you get closer, and everybody sees this, and then you sort of like. So if Hazra and Cyrus want to change your action, then that's absolutely fine. Now that you've seen what's happened, as you get closer and closer, you notice that there seems to be the remains of 3 wagons and caravans, and you notice that as you look onto it, you can see that there's various forms on the floor, but there is something alive there, and it seems to be so roll your you probably know what these are because you're familiar with the terrain and the plains. It looks like there's a pack of hyenas here, and they seem to be
Oh my, they're big.
they seem to be munching on various things on the ground.
Have you just watched The Lion King?
No.
Because we read Pumbaa, and now we've got the hyenas.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I think means no worries, guys.
Yeah.
For the rest of our days.
Just to stay.
Because the rest of our days are going to be in a hyena's belly, so we won't have any worries.
So as you actually
Oh my.
approach, Hazra, you're used to seeing this. There's definitely a pack, but as you stop at the carts and hold them up, everybody sees this. But the most important thing that you see Hazra and Cyrus, as you take a few steps, is that you're not this close at the moment. I just brought your tokens on.
Okay.
But you can see that there's a hyena stood on one of the boulders. Almost like a meerkat alarmist.
Watch.
Yeah. And you can hear as you sort of like start to walk away that this hyena either smells you or sees you and sort of like lets out a growl laugh, if that makes sense. And you notice that he sort of like arches his back and his shackles goes up and the fur bristles on his back even from this distance. And you can see he looking in your direction. And once the rest of them hear that alarm call go off, they all stop and lift up and turn round to see the your cart and Brutus's cart and the other car further back on the road. Cyrus and Hazra, just make a quick perception roll for me.
There we go. I was wondering when I was going to come in.
Okay, then. So, Hazra, you see this, and as they come up, you notice that their jaws and over their nose, their muzzle is definitely dyed quite a deep red. It's obvious that they're feeding on something that you can see from this distance are different mounds. You can't tell what they're actually feeding on, but they're definitely feeding, and they're definitely got blood around their muzzles.
Yep.
Yeah, so what would you like to do? Hazra and Cyrus first, yeah.
Hazra will put his hand on Cyrus and say,
With or without lard, is this?
with lard. But in a low voice, you see, what we need to know is just slowly back away. But if they start to come towards us, could you? I don't like sending, but could you do your fire thing? Because these things are scared of fire. All animals distrust fire.
Trust me, you don't have to worry about me blowing them up if I can. Yeah, let's back up just a little bit, slowly.
Yeah, you sort of like back away from it, and you notice what happens in front of you. The hyenas don't sort of like go back to eating. You notice that I'm just going to move you guys slightly up here. You notice that one or two of them actually come to stand round, and they seem to almost like make a rough formation ahead of you, towards you, and you can see that they're sort of like heckles are up. They're not attacking, but they're it looks as if they're trying to threaten you away, as if to say, this is our kill.
Yeah.
Although Hazra, that hyenas are scavengers.
Yeah.
They very rarely kill their own. Yeah.
Yeah, but they will fight for or be aggressive towards.
Yeah. Roll your nature law.
Nature. Yeah.
Ooh yeah.
Yeah. You know that they do pack hunt. They actually hunt as a pack, but you also know that they are bits of a coward. So if things start to go against them, or you can scare them, then they will flee. They're all what's the saying? They're all bluster and no.
Yes, another one.
Yeah. So
they're all bark and no bite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much so.
I have an idea. Let's not. Hopefully, doesn't start combat. I'm going to keep backing up just a bit, just so that way.
Cyrus, you never start combat. Can I just? Yes, what would you like to do, Cyrus?
As we're backing up, I want to make sure we're still far enough away. But I'm one of the right here. Am I pinning something?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a wagon.
I want to set that
covered
thing on
wagon.
fire.
Okay,
That
then.
covered wagon. I want to set on fire.
Yeah, cool. Are you using Ignite?
Huh?
There's a-
Are you using
I'll use rack for that one, not ignite.
Ignite? Okay, then. So
No, not ignite. I'm going to use rack so that way it's like an explosive.
a rack wouldn't set it on fire. It just allows you to constrict it and do damage to it.
Oh, it won't.
But yours just looks cool because it's like
Yeah.
it appears as like a flame, but it's not really a flame.
The
Oh, okay,
rack
okay,
actually
so-
causes pain to people, hence the name.
Got it. All right. So yeah, it would have to be ignite. Actually, I do have this in my equipment. Where is it? I have a few oil flasks. I wonder if I could. I'm going to throw an oil flask at the. As we're walking by, I'm going to throw an oil flask at the wagon.
So
and then do ignite.
do you say walking back?
Yeah,
You're going to-
we're aren't we going back a bit?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But we're not really near there, are we? I thought we were walking back sort of this direction, weren't we?
yes, you are.
No, okay.
So I mean, what's the range of your Ignite first? Does it have a set range on it? It's normally your power.
Yeah, I have to look that up.
Range, distance up to the character's folk magic score in meters. So let's have a look at Ignite. Why can I not find? Oh, there we are. Yeah. So what's your folk magic?
59.
So you can do it up to 59 meters away.
Okay.
Ignite only works on flammable inorganic matter, causing a small object or handheld area to burst into flames. Depending on what was set alight, once burning, the flames may then spread. So I think this is normally used to light candles, torches, or lanterns from afar. So
Yeah.
So if you cast it, it'll probably catch light, but it won't go kaboom.
Well, that's what I was hoping with the oil flasks. If I throw the oil flasks at it might kind of give it a little bit more
Okay, then. So if you wish to
ignite.
to throw the oil on it, then that would be an unarmed combat roll.
Okay.
To chuck it and to see whether or not you get it close enough or it goes somewhere else. So how many do you wish to throw?
I have 6, so I'm going to throw 3.
Okay, then.
Do I have to do each time?
Yeah, so what they're made out of. Because if they hit the fabric, they're not going to smash.
I was thinking there's glass flasks.
Right, so if you throw it
vials.
at the canvas, they probably won't smash. You need to throw it at the actual wagon. So sort of like this bit here.
That's what I'll aim for.
Yeah, go
The
for it
actual
then.
wagon part.
So the first one goes flying across, and it hits roughly on target, and it sort of like smashes on the wagon. And you notice that the hyenas, as it smashes and gives that noise, that the hyenas sort of like come away from it, so to speak. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna throw another one.
Yeah, so that sort of like hits on the same part of the wagon and bursts, sort of like drenches the wagon in oil.
And do one more. So I missed that one, of course.
Yeah, that probably hits off this stone here. The hyenas are definitely packed together now, as in Hazra formation. on the opposite side of those rocks. So now you need to.
Now I'm gonna do ignite.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm gonna do that. Come on, baby.
Oh,
I'm
Okay.
gonna use my luck point for that one.
Right. Okay then. So
2 1s and a 100.
So that we've talked about this before. You can't change that to a 1.
Yeah.
If you want to use luck,
of
you have to re-roll it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
don't forget to put a tick in it though.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I will for sure. I'm gonna do that right now, actually. All right. Come on, baby. No.
Yeah. So you do fling the or cause something to ignite. But there seems to be something not quite right, and the flame appears on the wagon a little bit, but then sort of like dies somewhat, and you sort of like think, oh, what's happened there? And then all of a sudden it catches on the oil, and the wagon starts to burn, and you notice that it, because it's doused with oil, it starts to burn quite quickly and spreads on the wagon. And you notice, I just need to roll this. Yeah, and you notice that the hyenas sort of like circle back round, i.e. facing the wagon that is on fire now, and they're not into flame or anything like that. And from a chatter from the lead hyena, they all turn and run. Well, they sort of like saunter off, backing away, keeping howling and chattering at you as they do. And pretty soon they are out of the area altogether. And it's at that point that you hear the scream from within the burning wagon.
I knew it.
And with that will be a golden opportunity to stop at that point and to leave it that the wagon, the covered wagon.
I saw that sign coming. Sorry, I did. Brilliant.
Yeah, it sounds like probably a young girl's scream.
Oh,
great.
shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
And yeah, we will leave it there for this week. And so we will come back. Now, please remember that number one, next week there's no Mythras, but I will be playing Infliction, I think it's called, with a horror game for my Halloween special. You know, so do come along and join me for that. I will have the lights off. We might even have a red light on or something like that, but I will be here. And please also remember that in the UK our clocks go back tonight. So if you're waiting for my stream, you know, you might find, unless your clocks have gone by, it'll be back as well. It'll be an hour later, you know, because we're having an extra hour in bed. And let's just hope that whatever is screaming inside the wagon doesn't burn to a crisp before next week's.
Maybe they shouldn't hide in wagons. I don't know.
Iris.
We have a fire mage. He's immune to fire.
I mean,
He can run in and grab it. It's fine.
yeah.
Why would we bring Cyrus
you know,
along?
I don't think he
Christ.
actually is immune to fire.
Well, then he's not a very good fire mage.
You know, I don't
Yeah,
think.
fire.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. So yeah, and we'll see what becomes of this screaming, young, innocent, helpless child that is in the
Meat's back on the menu.
No!
Oh.
Don't go there. No!
Not okay.
Not good.
There's Electric
Barbecue.
Messiah in the chat has just said, not immune to fire, ? Find out.
Yeah, I know. Level up moment.
Figure
Kebab.
out something.
Yeah.
Use an Order of the Phoenix. You just get. If
Yeah,
he does
exactly.
die, if he does die in the fight,
He
he'll just
will.
be
Yes.
reborn.
Let's
Come
try
back from his
that.
ashes. Yeah.
Let's actually kill him, burn him, and
Burn
see
him,
whether
that
they
is
actually.
true.
It's a witch. Get an axe. Yeah. So yeah. So thank you.
Rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
You will become
It's a
more
beautiful
powerful
baby boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will see.
For those in America, make sure, very important, if you haven't already, please vote.
Oh God,
And
yes.
And vote
if you-
for
if you-
whoever
if
you
can
think
vote early, do
can
that.
do the job. Jesus, but do vote.
Yeah, no, just please do vote.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
vote, you can't change anything. So vote for whoever you want, but vote. Most important thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, the chat is saying not immune to fire. Find out. Then somebody said she's a witch, and then Buddy Buck said she's a he. Burn him. And then somebody said I'm in North America. Our election isn't until next year.
What?
I don't know.
What?
Is it in Canada?
I was in Canada, yeah.
Is that, oh, I see.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, don't they?
Sorry.
Was that Scottish or French or wasn't?
That was just a made up.
Right. Because
Election, it's fine.
don't they speak a lot of French in Canada?
Half.
Yeah,
of Canada's
it's
French,
half.
half,
Yeah.
half English.
Yeah.
The rest is ours.
Very
Well, most of the world is ours, Medivac. You know that as well as I do.
Mine,
We go round-
Why there's so many
mine.
pink bits on the map?
I don't understand this. We go around in a boot.
In a boot. In a boot.
Instead of saying about, they say boot.
A boot.
Oh right, got you.
Yeah.
Americans are not automatically USA. French is only in East Canada. There you go.
Got it.
I want to know, how has America kept hold of Alaska?
Oil.
Nobody wants it.
Yeah.
you see what I mean?
It's
But
really
it's-
too cold.
It's sort of like Canada is in between, separates.
If you look,
Well, first off, I don't think Canada has the balls to take over Alaska.
I was thinking about Russia, just
or
across
Russia.
just across the Bering
well,
Strait.
but
That's the
Russia-
Bering.
Russia's too busy buying our
There's-
election. I mean, what?
there's a beautiful thing called mutually assured destruction.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah.
But wasn't there a push for Russia in the 70s? Sorry, for Alaska in the 70s or 60s?
I don't know.
Probably.
Am I wrong? Or was that just
Yeah.
a Mission Impossible thing?
We take it from Russia at one
One for
point.
uncle.
We did for sure take Alaska from Russia. at one point.
Right, that might be it then.
Was
Yeah.
it from Russia with love?
Oh damn it! I was about to say. as long as
Yes, I
Russia,
got
you
there
Russia
beforehand.
with
I got there beforehand. Right, Alaska is a strategic hold. It's as much in Canada's interest for America to have it. Oh, that's interesting.
Unless it's like Red Dawn.
No, we don't-
Alaska was purchased by the USA for 2 and 6.
$4.33.
Welcome everybody to a new episode of Barely Remembered History.
This is interesting.
Did you
What did they
know
purchase it with? Was it a whole load of tea that they
Yeah.
actually?
that they just found floating in a bay somewhere?
Yeah,
It was probably actually guns and
Roses.
it's
musket
really
ammo.
interesting. Very interesting.
Okay.
Bet I can do is tree fiddy.
Oh my.
I don't get
Oh
that.
no! I think someone's just tried to get you to do it in a Canadian accent in Wills.
Is that? Oh, can't do any. Whatever I do, it
Wait,
comes
wait.
out in pirate. So,
Yarr.
no matter what. Okay, before this gets into mock of the week, or some political episode.
Vote.
Yeah, vote. Don't forget to vote. Yeah, and
Don't forget that.
always remember to vote and stay safe. Cover your face. Think of space. Wash your hands, which doesn't rhyme with space at all.
Yeah.
But
Drink
face.
bleach. No, no, no.
You're gonna get him banned, Medivac.
Wash
Did-
your hands.
I'm not a doctor.
Bleach your pants.
Yeah, whatever it is, have a nice evening or rest of the day. I will be back tomorrow morning with some BDO followed by ESO. So do come along. Yes, I can only play games that have initials, and that's it. I can't do any other game at all. And yeah, it's been fantastic seeing you here. Thank you for coming along as well. Thank you to the players, and thank you for everybody who's saying thank you for saying thank you back to us. That's absolutely brilliant. And we'll leave it on that wonderful fumble folk magic roll that Cyrus managed to recover as we hear the screams of the young girl from the back of the wagon. Have fun, everyone, and please stay safe and stay healthy. Until next time, see you all later. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
This video is sponsored by the Design Mechanism, the makers of Mythras. Mythras is a registered trademark of the Design Mechanism Inc., used with permission. All rights reserved.